Hope you're having a great day, and thank you for checking in. Let's get this party started. And for me, Solana Paz brings a dose of inspiration to the podcast today. She's a Bay Area actor who just secured her first role in an LA production with some Argentinian sauciness to her game with a comedic flair. I'm really honored to call her a friend. So without further ado, let's get it going with Solana Paz. Hey, now look, we're doing a Skype audio podcast, so I don't need the blue backdrop like we're doing a demo tape.
I know we were talking about it, so I thought, what a great use case. Except that I'm wearing blue over blue, but it's kind of cold in my house right now.
Super cute. Could I call you, instead of your name, an elegant raven-hair Argentinian beauty with a widow's peak?
Yes, but you know what? Now it's changed. It's not with a widow's peak anymore.
Really?
It's with, yes, I work with my marketing coach on that, and it's now with a warrior spirit. So you can go ahead and call me if you want.
All right.
An elegant raven-haired Argentinian beauty with a warrior spirit.
You got to change that on the website then.
I do. That's the next, and you know what? I'm going to take a note of that right now.
I love it, though. What's wrong with the other description with the widow's peak? I mean, you do have a warrior spirit, but what's wrong with the other one?
Yeah, it's very physical, and it doesn't say much about my character or personality or what I can do.
Yep.
So we decided to change it.
I wanted to bring you on to talk about an independent I saw that you did, but what's this email that you sent me about the Crumbs? What is that?
Oh, so the Crumbs is a feature film that I will be shooting early April this year. And it's a horror film.
I went on the IMDb page. I saw you as hiker number 2, correct?
I am hiker number 2. And the script is quite freaky. And I don't want to say what it is about or what happens to my character, what it does. But I can tell you that it's this couple that lives in the woods, and he's a doctor, and he's working on creating a life-preserving serum. And they work on it's a bed and breakfast that they have, this couple, and they have guests that show up, and they talk, and things happen with these guests.
I don't know how much hiking you'll actually do in the movie, but I do know that you are someone that's really active. You like to work out and stay fit. How important is that in terms of the profession? Hey, I've got to be fit. I got to be as lean and active as I can be.
It's very important because it just allows you to take different and more things on. So there are certain characters, and I love doing physical stuff. So being physically fit just allows me this possibility of being able to play characters such as Cholita in Summer Vacation, or this hiker woman that I'm going to be playing. And because, as you know, as an actor yourself, you have to do take after take after take after take. And each take needs to look fresh. And it's like the first time you're doing this.
Yep.
Right? So for the Cholita character, for instance, it was each one of the scenes when she's doing her chant and her dance, it was probably half an hour straight shooting, when it's 2 minutes of video afterwards. So it's good to be able to not have to worry about that. You're just now built like that, and your body goes with it. Your body is as present in anything that you do as much as your mind is. Right. So it's nice to not have to worry about it. Know that my body is going to be right there with me, keeping up with whatever pace it needs to keep up.
A couple of Bay Area directors gave me a great quote that they use for fitness. They say, hey, I want to stay ready so I don't have to get ready.
Exactly. It's like as an actor, right? You're always working on your craft and everything. So when the opportunity comes, you're as ready as you will ever be, better than anybody else. You always have to be ready, and being physical fit is one of those same things.
Hey, tell me about Sommers Vacation. I saw it. I loved it. I'm a big fan of yours anyway. Beyond a groupie.
Oh, thank you so much.
Beyond a groupie, but not a stalker. So I'm right in that little safe area. So I'm right here in the middle. If I go any higher, there's like cops and restraining orders. But here, I'm safe. I'm just a good fan.
I'm not worried about you, David.
Correct.
Quite honest. Yeah. So what specifically do you have in mind? I can tell you anything that you want about Sommers Vacation.
Well, for the people that haven't seen it, it's a short, it's a comedy, you're great in it, and your husband can't understand you.
Yes, that sums it up. Yes, it's a short that I produced working with 4 other young actors in front of the camera and some other ones, some young talent behind the scenes. It's a half an hour short. We shot it in Middletown, California, which is about 20 minutes north of Calistoga. And it's part of an off-site retreat where these actors and the PAs and everybody gets there. The director, who's the one who plays my husband, is there too, and the cinematographers. And we are there for about 4 days. And I coach the kids on acting for the camera. All these kids have acting experience already, but mostly on stage. So they get a lot of on-camera coaching and the difference between stage and camera acting. And we shoot this movie that was written by Michael Skordakis, who's also the director, also who plays the husband. And it's a fabulous experience. And because we work with professional people, including the cinematographer, he's just beautiful, beautiful stuff. It's a real movie that we shoot that we're very proud to submit to film festivals and to screen in movie theaters. So it's this year it was a comedy. It's the second year that we're doing this. Last year was more of a drama story that was written by one of the young actors participants in this project. She wrote it at the age of 14, and this year we decided, okay, let's go comedy, and things go a little bit south, and also a little bit cute with the kids, with the children in the family, and the environment where they are.
When you're working with kids who have a theater background, it's such a different type of presentation. It's more, theatrical and wild gestures, and it's more over the top than you would where we're talking television movies where it's really about your facial expressions.
Exactly. And we cover this very much in detail. And we also put them in front of the camera before we start shooting the movie. The first day is about rehearsals and for them understanding how this medium works. And we do exercises where we ask them to just think of something and say it while they are visualizing what it is that they are saying. And we close up on their face. And we tell them, just put it in your eyes. And they do. And they feel that they're not doing enough. But then when we play it back and they see it, everybody can see what's going on in that person's eyes. So It's fascinating. It fascinates me every time that I do it and every time that I see it. But when you're working with somebody who hasn't done it before and suddenly they are experiencing this for the first time, it's just this one of these magical moments of film, right? That the camera just captures everything that you're seeing.
Actors use the term, this sense of reality, what your reality is in that moment, instead of just acting or overacting, which some of us do, right? When we have a scene, we're memorizing our lines and we're overacting, but having that sense of reality to bring that to the role, which is a challenge.
Yeah, and it takes practice. It, like everything else, it takes practice, just doing it and watching when it's happening, when other ones are doing it. It's a beautiful thing.
Certainly. Hey, what are you learning as you go along? And you've been doing this for a little while, but working with acting coaches like Matthew Berry, who really take us to the next level in terms of performance and character development.
I love learning new stuff. I always, when I go into anything, I go with this mentality, okay, bring it on. I don't pretend that I know everything or a lot about it. Just I'm open for discovery all the time, and I love discovering new things. Working with Matt Berry, it's great at many levels. One, it's because he's a little bit of a hard ass.
A little bit.
Yeah, I'm a nice person, David. You know.
I know.
No, but he just tells it for what it is. He's really vested in his students for them to become better, and he will really push you, and he knows which buttons to push at what time. I've been working with him for over a year now, just about, yeah, a little bit over a year. And I realized that the battles that he picked to fight early on when I was working with him and the ones that he picks to fight now. So he keeps, as I progressed in my classes with him and what it is specifically that I'm working with him on, because I work with different coaches on different things. With him, it's all about auditioning, technique, on camera work, and he keeps pushing me in different directions every time. So every class with him, it's a surprise. There's something that I know that I'm gonna face something that I was not expecting, and he always throws it at me, and I always get something new out of those classes that makes me a better actor, a better performer. I'm more prepared for the time that I have to go to an audition in front of a camera or video self-taped or whatever it is.
What are the emotions like for you when you have some material that you practice at home, you rehearse, you memorize, and you've got it down, but then you go in front of the people that you have to perform it in front of, and your feelings are a little bit different. The environment's different. Your heart's racing, and you're not in that same state, right? You're not bringing that exact performance. Maybe you have a different set of emotions you're bringing to the table that day.
So different things happen, right? Because I can be as off book or memorized as possible. Yet, when I walk into that room, I feel like I've forgotten everything. Mm-hmm. And of course, the first pass, I can't remember the lines. So anyway, so that's one. Another one is a couple of things. One is I realized that if I walk into an audition and there is no camera, I'm far more nervous than if there is a camera. When there's a camera, I don't feel that nervous. I actually love the fact that there's a camera there, and I just turn on and the camera comes on and show goes on. And I love the magic that happens when the camera's on. And I just go full in. Now, when there's no camera, which a lot of these classes are, there's no camera. Or sometimes you go to an audition and there's no camera, which is weird. For a film, why wouldn't there be a camera? But it happens sometimes, and I don't know what to do in those situations. And what does happen is that also you just go with whatever the reader gives you. You know, and when we're in class with Matt Berry, he gives you something of the read always, which is great. A lot of times you go into an audition and the reader is giving you nothing, so you have to imagine all these things like the other actor will be giving you, and it's harder because like you're focusing at the same time. Okay, imagine what this person is giving you, plus your lines, plus your emotions. So yeah, that is never the way I planned it. But you have to be in a place where you are okay with walking in, knowing that you're somewhat powerless, and be open and ready to pivot as with whatever the situation is.
I was just thinking about something in personal life where you're trying to give back to someone that's giving you nothing in return. I mean, ever had any real experience like that? They're giving you nothing. You have to give them everything.
So, yeah. Oh, of course. It does happen. But it also happens. You know, I ran a business for many years before I decided to become a full-time actor. And sometimes you're working with clients and you're like, dude, give me something. I did design for many years. And you're presenting this awesome piece. And you're like, okay, are you liking it or not?
Give me
they
something.
may be loving it. They're just not freaking saying it. And, you know,
yeah.
It's a similar situation in that regard.
How much?
But it makes it a lot harder.
Solana, how much then do you feed off of getting reaction? So like a theater actor, you get that instantaneous feedback, the response from an audience. Film, you're not getting that until someone watches it. How important is that to you to get some kind of love or acknowledgement for what you do when you do it?
So again, when the camera's on, I feel like I just go in this trance and I get transported to a different dimension and I really don't know what happens. And I'm in that place and I'm just becoming somebody else. And it's like life is happening right there and then. a different life that I'm creating. So I'm not thinking about the reaction. Then they say cut and I go back to my normal life. And that moment that I just went through it just fills me so much that that's what I get. And then you see the other actors and that interaction, you hear everybody behind the camera saying things. And it's just this environment of making stuff happen that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And that's what fits me with film. This said, we're in a class and we're working on comedy, and you've seen me doing this before. And when people laugh about what you're, then that just fits you more and gets you going even more and more.
Yes.
And there's no stopping there.
Which would be the
And
benefit
I
of it being a
love that.
stage actor. You'd be getting that instantaneous response to really feed you.
Right. And I started doing stage back in Argentina, in Buenos Aires, where I'm from. And I did stage there. And that, of course, that always happens to get the immediate reaction. But now I'm realizing that I like them. I enjoy the magic of film better today. I may go back to stage at some point. I don't know. But I'm enjoying the magic of film right now. And also that whatever I do, then the editor and the director are going to turn it into whatever they want. So just to know that I have no control over what they do with my work, I find that super appealing as well. I love that.
Solana Paz, Bay Area actor with us. Now, is there something offensive with saying actress or female actor? Some people get really bugged out about that.
I don't get it. I don't really get really bugged out about anything. It takes a lot to upset me.
I don't want to press the wrong buttons. That's all.
I appreciate that. They say that now we say actor, so I'm going with what they say. I understand where it's coming from. You have doctor, you have architect, you have teacher. You don't have teatress or architectress or
Right.
doctress. Why do we have actress? I like saying actor. It feels a bit weird at times. I guess now I'm used to it. But whatever the industry says in that regard, that's with what I'm going. That's not something for me to fight. Whatever they say, I'll do.
Yeah, like now a stewardess is a flight attendant. You don't say stewardess anymore.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. Same. Mm-hmm.
What motivates you, Solana? I had somebody tell me, oh, you just want to be famous. And you know what? To me, it's the art. I mean, we do stuff that's not seen by a lot of people. It's not seen by millions all over the world. We just get off on doing it.
Exactly. And it's kind of what I was saying just a few seconds before. I just love creating something out of nothing. I'm a creative person. I have always been, working in design, you're creative all the time. I like being I like entertaining people. I like making people laugh. And I like to do it because I have the chance to do it through camera work, which is the environment that I love. That to me is like a match made in heaven. If I can make you laugh, I'm happy. I like, we have meetings, get together with friends or whatever, and I just like entertaining them. I'm an entertainer. And that's what motivates me, bringing happiness to people, making people feel things, bringing these emotions out of people. That's my big motivation.
Now, you ultimately want to do comedy. That's your thing, right? That's right in your wheelhouse based on Sommers Vacation.
Oh, yeah. Physical comedy. Yes, absolutely.
Is it more enjoyable for you to do a scene that doesn't involve dialogue, that's purely physical, like you crawling around a campground in Sommers Vacation or chanting with some stick, and you're not talking to somebody, and it's, I guess, from a character development or this great, dialogue exchange is not there, but the performance is off the charts.
I can smell you. I can smell you, chupacabra. I can smell you, chupacabra. Where are you? Where are you, chupacabra?
Thank you very much. I am not scared of silences. You know how, and I've been working lately with a lot of actors who prefer to have lines because they don't know what to do when there are no lines. Oh no, I will always fill the space with something. I'm not scared about that at all. And yeah, and Cholita, it was very, very physical. I really like, and of course, I like having dialogues. You know, when you're in a movie and you want to have lines, but if I can be physical, that's a sweet spot for me.
Do you find more and more acting coaches are now teaching you about living in the moment and what's happening? Forget the lines, just what is happening here. And if it's off
Yes.
script, so what? Tell me the story.
Yes, if it's off script, so what? It depends on what you're auditioning for, because sometimes you have to be on script because the writer will be in the room and they may want you to stay on book. More often than not, I find that it doesn't matter if you get off book a little bit, as long as you're keeping the concept, particularly if you're reading with somebody you want to stay, in line with the story. But yes, 100%, it's about being in the moment. And when I coach, I'm a young actors coach. When I coach my kids, I tell them the same thing: be present, stay relaxed. You can't be present in a scene if you're not relaxed. So we work a lot on that. And I find when I'm taking my classes, and I just had one with George Gallagher, who's another awesome coach, and he sent me a script to work on, and I decided, because this is something because I get very anxious. Like, I get a script and I get anxious. I want to know what happens next. If I'm reading particularly a play, I get very anxious. Reading dialogue, I love it, but I get very much ahead of myself. And the same when I'm working with a script. So I've been working specifically on not getting ahead, not getting anxious, stay line by line with that line. So I've been working on this for a while, okay? Yesterday, I get in this class and I get my script and I just do that. I don't anticipate. It was like a 7-page script we were working on. I stayed line after line. And when it was his turn to give me the line, he told me afterwards he would do this on purpose. He would just pause and not say anything for a while, just to see what I did with that. And I didn't do anything but staying with him as he was, I don't know, considering giving his next line. And I was, again, not afraid of the space and just waiting. When he was ready to give me his line, he gave me his line. And then I looked down at my script, stole the line, and then I looked at him and gave him my line. But I was not anticipating, and it was such a wonderful experience, because when you do that, you really enjoy being in the moment. You're not worried about what's going to happen, because you don't know what's going to happen. You're not paying attention, and you're living moment by moment, which is more like real life too.
Sure. Now, listening is obviously critical, and that would have to help you in real life with your real relationships if you can really be a good listener.
Yes. And again, because I did graphic design for many years, you're always listening to what they want, to what they're trying to communicate, to what their goals are, to what their business goals are, to what they want their potential clients to see out of their brands. So I always listen, so I then can communicate effectively. So I'm a listener in the first place. I've been trained to do that. And now I also, and this also relates to your earlier question, like when you're listening, you are present. If you really are listening, there's no way out of that. If you choose to listen, you will be present. And also you get surprised, right? And yes, it may change the way you deliver your line from what you were thinking you would do, but that's okay. That's when magic happens, when you just let it come and flow.
It changes based on the reaction you're getting from the other person that you didn't expect.
Every time. And I love that.
Solana, what was your history in acting as a young person, getting away from it, and then eventually cycling back into it?
So I started acting when I was 16, when I was in high school. And I took a bunch of classes in Buenos Aires, and I did a bunch of performances on stage there. And then I started working in advertising. I didn't have much time in Argentina, and it's crazy. Anyone who works in advertising, you know that the hours that you put, I wouldn't sleep for 2 days, that kind of stuff. So for a while, I stopped taking classes and acting. And then I moved to the US in the year 2000, and I took a class on acting for the camera. which I took only when I felt more comfortable with the language, because I thought, okay, they're going to tell me to do something and I'm going to miss it. I won't understand. I won't be able to follow the class and the directions, all these things, that I kept telling myself. And I took a class on acting for the camera, and I just fell in love with it. I loved it. So I continued taking those classes and shooting short films and trying to get involved with organizations like Scary Cow or student films at the time to get all this experience. And then my kids were born. And for a while, I didn't do much in terms of acting. And then I got back into acting. And then my work life, my designer life, took over for 2 years. And I didn't do any acting at all for 2 years. And that's when I realized that I wasn't fully happy, that I was missing something. There was this hole that couldn't be filled, and it was being filled with anxiety and, stress. And I realized, oh man, I haven't acted at all in 2 years. I'm getting back on this. So I quit my job, and 3 years ago, I decided that I wasn't going to do design anymore. And I didn't. And people would call me to do design projects, and I would refer them to somebody else. And I thought, I've always been a workaholic, and I loved it. So I thought, okay, if I spend the same amount of energy that I always spend on my design life in my acting, maybe something good will come out of this. So I've been spending a lot of my time and energy on my acting, and it's been paying off so far.
And so financially, you were able to pull that off, then give up the job and become just a full-time actor.
So financially, it's a couple of things. One is that as a designer, I was focusing on user experience design, which is basically designing the flow of mobile apps, how the user will use a mobile app and such. And it pays very well. So I was able to, so I had my savings. Coming from Argentina, you're used to saving, that's the culture, you have to save. So here, that stays. So I had all my savings. So that allowed me to take that big step. Okay, I have my savings, I can do that. And then it was a family financial decision, because in San Francisco, probably anywhere, when you're first getting started as an actor, unless you have another job, it's almost impossible. I don't know anybody who starts as an actor who does this full time and can pay the bills with that. So it was a family financial decision, and we all decided, okay, yeah, you go do it. So I'm doing it, and now, fortunately, with some commercial work, with the coaching and other stuff, it's doable. But the first year or two, where I had to be more careful financially, let's say that.
Yeah, it's hard. Living in the Bay Area, and is it the ultimate goal where you've got to do it in LA, or can you do it in San Francisco and just kind of screw around in Los Angeles?
I'm hoping that I can stay in San Francisco and fly to LA whenever it's needed, which is kind of what I've been doing. When I had my design business, I traveled for work all the time, a week or two at a time, to New York or Europe to speak at a conference or wherever it was. So I'm totally happy moving around for work. I don't mind. My family doesn't mind. It's all good. Maybe at some point, yes, I would love to be in Santa Monica specifically. I love that area.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So if I could have a place close to the beach, which is probably everybody's dream, I would do that. But in the meantime, if I could go to San Francisco is a beautiful city. So if I can be here and there, to me, it would be the best of both worlds.
Sure. No, I wish you luck with that. Solana, what would be the ultimate role for you? Who do you love out there as an actor? And gosh, I would love to do what she does.
Okay, so my ultimate goal today doesn't exist. I haven't seen it, but it would be to play opposite Michael Douglas in the Kominsky Method as somebody from his past that resurfaces and shows up to either he's after him, or to get him, or maybe, I don't know, what kind of dramatic story they could have had in the past. That would be my dream gig right now. Play opposite him in that show for 6 episodes or so. I would be in heaven if I could do that.
You got super specific about the show, who's in it, and what you would be doing. That's awesome.
Oh, I thought about it. Yeah.
Oh, I bet you have to.
You have to. You have to. Yeah, I know that it can easily get cast in like FBI SWAT type of shows. You know, there's always the Hispanic drama going on in those shows, detective, badass kind of person. I know I can play those roles. And my marketing coach tells me, yeah, you'll be casted as that. And I'm perfectly happy with that. But like we're talking about earlier, if I can do comedy, physical comedy, and opposite somebody like Michael Douglas in this character he's killing it. I don't know if you've seen that show, but I love him in that show. He's the perfect teacher, the perfect Kominsky. He's brilliant.
I've seen maybe half of one episode, but I'll put it on my to-do list. I'm getting caught up on Game of Thrones so I can get ready for the final season. And so I need to be ready for that. But I'll definitely put that on my to-do list, along with True Detective.
And watch his performance. He is so good. Speaking about being present and in the moment and actors' choices, watch him close. He's spectacular.
Solana, you mentioned your marketing coach. How important is it now? How has it changed over the last few years with social media, Twitter, Instagram, having your own website rather than just, here's my headshot and resume. Oh, I hope you love me.
Oh my gosh, it's changed so much, and everybody can talk about this probably a little bit, but I hear casting agents talking about this and talent managers. And everybody says, you know, that it used to be that you have to pick up the phone and call and send your stuff. But now you just put your stuff online and it's easily accessible for everyone. So they say, put as much as you can out there because at some point somebody will see it. I don't know when honestly, I don't know when that point comes, how long it takes. I have a bunch of my stuff online. Still, you have to be present in front of people. So for instance, I started working also with a publicist who's helping me with Instagram and Facebook and trying to help me find connections to write a blog on an actor's post or something to be more out there. She's helping me with that. And we work very well together. Her name is Christine Oneto. So she's helping me with that. And my marketing coach, who's Wynn Gillis, and she's great, and she goes above and beyond. She's done that for me already, and I recently started working with her. But her big thing is to make me castable, marketable. It's okay. She's constantly typecasting me, constantly. Okay, this is what you need to do, and this is what you need to have in your reel, because you have that, and people will cast you. You basically need to show people how they can cast you on your reel. You will be casted as an FBI agent. Okay, have 10 seconds of that. Or a lawyer walking out of the courthouse. Or this ambassador's wife, fashionista, European woman, who's like this bitchy person getting out of a limo. That's how you will be cast. So have that in your reel. So she's guiding me and mentoring me on basically how to be cast.
Can some of the stuff with no lines, like the Sommers Vacation, be used as a demo? Because we all want to hear how we interact with folks, but seeing something like that that's kind of kooky for 20 seconds and weird shows talent in a different way.
Well, I've been told about that because I don't have that big of a name yet. Show more normal stuff so people will see how they can cast you, because there's a lot more normal roles out there, like any crime or legal or medical stuff. It's normal stuff, right? And this one is a bit out there. So they said, okay, if you're going to put something out like that in your reel, start with the normal stuff and make it weirder, because I have a couple of other weird things that I've done, not as extreme as that one. That one, awesome. So start with some more normal stuff so they can see you, and then you can add the more weird things. If you want to put Cholita in there, do it, but towards the end of your reel. So I may just do that.
You do want to be weird, though. You do want to be weird.
Oh my goodness. My kids tell me I'm weird. My sister tells me, Solana, you're weird. My sister, and I think I'm normal, but she thinks I'm weird. I love my sister.
The kids think you're weird.
My kids, yeah, they're not easily surprised by me. My kids tell me all the time, Mom, you're weird.
Tell me about them. How old are they, and what's it like being a mom juggling acting career?
So my daughter Alexia is 14, and she just got accepted in her track team at school. So we're all very excited about that because
Good
she
job,
worked her
girl.
little butt off to be. Yeah, go girl! That girl can run. And my son Joaquin, he's 12. They both have done movies and such. Joaquin, he's quite a performer. He loves musical theater. He can tap dance. He plays electric guitar, and he plays the piano and the clarinet. He's a very artistic kid, and I love that. He's not doing it because I'm doing it or because I want him to do it, though. I don't want to be one of those mothers,
Stage mom.
Yes, no. But at the same time, when he shows interest in these things, I can always point him in the right direction. When he showed interest at first, and it's okay, if you want to do this, we're going to do it right. You're going to get your headshots. You're going to get an agent. You're going to take classes with a good teacher. And he went and took his classes with a good teacher. So at least I know the space so I can help them accomplish this. If that's what they want. If they don't, trust me, I will be fine not driving them all over town so they can go to an audition. That will be fine too. But and then both my husband and I have flexible working schedules right now. He's running his own business right now, so it's easier because I can go to auditions or whatever, and if I have to travel to LA, we can make that work as a family. So today, when my kids are older, the dog and they can take care of the pets, so I don't have to worry. So I guess that if they were babies or younger, it would be harder. But right now, and I'm so happy with what I do. And quite frankly, every time that I get an audition and I get to play with that character at home, I will start saying these weird things and they look at me, oh, that's a script you're working on. Because I just out of the blue, I start saying things that I never said before. Oh, okay, that's a script. Okay, got it. So they have fun. They love watching me do silly things. It's actually, right now it's fun. They're in an easy age.
Easy. That 12 to 14, I wanted to take my own life during the middle school, 6th, 7th, 8th grade. Oh, you kidding me?
Yes, you've been through this. That's right. Knock on wood. Yes, there are moments, of course, and there are moments when you just want to strangle them and you love them so much that you won't. But for the most part, they're pretty easy kids. They're easygoing. They're fun. I really don't have, I get the eye rolling, my daughter sometimes will just answer in a way that my mom wouldn't have approved. And, okay, whatever, she's a teenager, it's what they do. You can change them. Okay, let's just roll with it. But also, I've always been good at setting limits since they were very little. So today, if I say no, they know it's no, and it's a non-negotiable. And they know there's a reason why it's no. I'm not just saying no out of my own comfort. So no, it's actually not that terrible. Maybe it's early to say. In 2 years, I will maybe doing another podcast. I will be pulling my hair off or something.
Right,
right now, we're good. We're going through good times. It's fun.
You'll be the Argentinian beauty who used to have a widow's peak, but she's got no hair because she pulled it all out because she's got teenage kids. All that on the description of who you are.
You'll see me wearing wigs.
Yeah.
Purple wigs, orange wigs.
Oh, God, Solana, when my daughter was, I think, 15, I said, hey, we need to talk because we need to make some changes around here because by the time you're 16, one of us has to go. I'll either kill myself or I'll kill you, but one of us isn't going to make it, till you're 16.
Yeah.
So it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, well, we'll see in 2 years. So far, we're good.
I'll put it on my calendar to check in with you.
You will see me many times before then, yeah.
Absolutely. Hey, what areas do you want to get better in? We're all talking about growth and this whole life journey. What are the next things for you to get better in as an actor or just life?
So I have been doing a lot of life coaching in the last year. I did the Landmark Forum, which was very revelatory for me, really good. And it helped me put some things into perspective and help me see things that that were what they call your blind spots. You don't even know that you can't see that you have them there because they're in your blind spot. So you start discovering some of those. And with this, I found that I have now a lot more free space in my mind and less weight over my shoulders. because I don't worry about things that I used to worry so much about, or for the teenagers. Now, for instance, people say, "Oh, the teenagers." They're teenagers. That's what teenagers do. My daughter is not doing it on purpose. That's how their brains work right now. So, okay, that's what it is. I need to adjust to that too. So being able to be in that place just frees you up, and you can live life more peacefully and chilling. And yeah, I do have, every time I tell somebody I'm quite chill, my kids are like, no, you're not. Your energy is like off the charts. Yeah, but internally, I'm in a very peaceful place. So that's something that I want to I want to keep and continue to grow in that sense. Because at the same time, that makes people around you also happier, I think. So that's one. Personal growth is and peace of mind is this area that I always feel like I want to, now that I've touched it, I want to continue to explore.
What do you do away from acting that gives you peace of mind?
I swim. When I'm in the water, the first push off the wall is one of the best, my favorite sensations ever. And you're in the water and you're with yourself. I love that. I do some meditation. And those are moments where I connect with myself. I like being in my home alone. Just when I'm home alone in my house with my dog, I will lay down on the floor next to him and pet him. And that's just, those are such precious moments for me. I like my time alone. I'm not somebody who will always be surrounded by people if I had the choice. No. I have friends who are like that. They're social butterflies. I'm not one of them.
The dog is unbelievable, right? I have a couple, and they're so, the love is unconditional.
Yeah.
You don't have to make, the most money or have a killer audition or six-pack abs. I mean, they're always there. You never let them down.
No, and I walk in the door and he's so excited. His tail is wagging all over the place. He's so happy to see me every time. Yes, he's an amazing dog.
I want to give the other characters from Sommers Vacation some love. So give a shout out to the other kids and your husband. Well, you already mentioned him, but the people that were involved in that project, which I hope does great things for you.
Yes, so Michael Skordakis directed it, as I said, and he played my husband. For the kids, so my two kids in the movie are my actual son. He plays my son. And my daughter, who's one of my students, Zoe Titus, and Joaquin Crawford is my son. And they have two friends, Sammy Bernick and Indiana Faulkner, who come on vacation with us. Now, Indiana, and some of them is the first time that they act in film, and they were fantastic. All the kids, I thought they did a really good job in that film. We worked a lot on character development as well to help them get there, but kids just go for it. Indiana, who was 14 at the time, she also composed the theme song for the film. So last year we used two of her songs for the film. She did this workshop last year too. And this year she wrote the song specifically for this movie, knowing what the movie was going to be about. And she did such a fabulous, fabulous job with it. And her video is out there. And if you want to watch it, there are scenes from the movie. She's a major talent. She sings jazz. She has been singing jazz. She may be 15 now. I'm not sure, but she was 14. She's been singing jazz for a while now. She's going to the School of the Arts here in San Francisco, and just watch for her because she will only get better from here. She's such a talent and such a sweet girl. She's thoughtful and nice and polite and fun. She's just, I love working with her, and I love just seeing her, hanging out with her.
You can always get better at stuff through classes and technique and work on this, but there's that certain it factor that you can't teach. You can polish up some character development, but there's something that some people have that others don't, where you can just identify and say, that girl's got it.
That's so true. And she does. Indy, if you're listening to this to me, you girl, you're amazing. You got it, and you'll make it far. And she has the support of her family too, who are amazing. Her parents are also awesome. So she has a long and good career path in front of her.
Besides acting, do you want to produce or direct at a higher level?
I have produced a couple of short films and a couple of things like a few PSAs, like the Happy Mother's Day video and a Happy Valentine's video, and a couple of those. I have also produced this series of videos of questions kids have, where I answer for young kids questions such as what is sex, what's a condom, what's gay, all these questions that kids when they're very young have, and a lot of parents don't know how to answer them, and a lot of parents don't answer them. So the kids sometimes go out looking for answers, and they get these answers that are not even true. So I did a series of those. Beyond that, even though I've produced a few things, that's not where I have the most fun. I know I can do it. I ran my own business for 7 years. I've managed plenty of people and big projects. So I'm not interested right now in directing. I did creative direction for almost 20 years well, no, not so much, 15 years of my life. I'm done directing. I don't want to tell people what to do anymore. I want people to tell me what to do, and then I'll execute it to perfection. I'll give you options. I'll do whatever you want. You tell me what to do, and I'll do it right now. That's where I'm standing today. Who knows? In 2 years, when we talk about teenagers again, maybe my place will be different.
How did you deal with those subjects with your own kids then? I mean, you're talking about making PSAs for other people, but those subjects with your own 12 and 14-year-old. Was that hard?
Well, no, not to me. I always grew up with a very open line of communication with my mom. We talked about everything, so I'm used to that. So when my kids had these questions, or not questions, but they would make comments, and I would ask them, do you know what a condom is? And they would say, yes, I think so. It's on a bumper sticker. Okay, so here's what a condom is. It's like a glove, but for the penis, and this is how it works. So always like very openly and casually having these conversations with them that are true. So I always talk to them like this. And then friends of mine hearing this said, well, when they ask you this, what do you say? Well, this is what I say. Oh, that's great. And a friend of mine once tells me, you should probably put this on video because you will be helping a lot of us out there. Okay. So I put them on video, and I've gotten a lot of great comments and thank yous from that. A friend of mine once told me, your video just saved me because my son and his friend were talking about this, and because I watched your video, I was able to tell them. So, when that happens, you're like, okay, this is great.
How old were your kids when you had those discussions?
Oh, it depends on the discussion, but I think we were driving to school. So when the subject of the condom came up, I think we were driving to school one morning. So they had to be probably 10 and 12 at most. 69 was another one that came up because my son and his friends were talking about 69. And I said, do you know what 69 is? And he's like, yeah, I think, okay, so this is what 69 is. First, it's an adult conversation. So they know, it's
Sure.
an adult conversation. But when people are having sex, being intimate, this is a position that they have, that they get into. Do you want to know more than that? No, because at their age, they don't want to know more than that. That's enough.
Would you have been prepared to do more if he said, do you want to know more? You'd have to tell him more?
Yeah, I just tell them, two people, normally they're face to face, but no, I would just come up with it. I use my hands a lot to explain how things work.
Like you are right now. I'm following along with your little diagram.
69, two people kissing, you move the fingers, but then you turn one hand around.
Like a little sign language. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's my own sign language, yeah.
Hey, I saw that you won on your website, solanapaz.com, Best Actor in My Sister's Keeper. What was that role about, and what is MMTB?
That was a short film. So MMTV is making movies throughout the Bay, and it's a nonprofit organization. And you show up, you pay a minimal amount, and you show up, and they put you in a team with other actors, directors, cinematographers, sound people, lights people, and you just shoot movies. And they have different setups. You have like a one-day challenge, or you shoot a feature in a week, and you just show up. Somebody as an actor, then you have somebody who wrote a script, and you just shoot that movie, and then you put it out there. And a lot of movies a lot of films get shot in the Bay Area like that. It's run by Elena Altman, and she puts a lot of efforts into this. So if you are looking into building your network, meeting people, getting some experience in front of the camera, or just taking care of this itch that we get sometimes, you just show up, you shoot a film or two or as many as you want, and this gets screened in a festival. I don't know how often, a couple of times a year, there's this, and they show all the short films or films that were produced during that time. And this one was one of those, the one that won the award. This my character in this film was a woman who had been working at a restaurant for a long time, and then a younger woman comes into the restaurant, and my character is the one who already knows the customers, and this younger woman comes in, and there's a little bit of rivalry between them. And in the end, everything comes together nicely because she's kind of like this motherly, even though she's not a mother. But anyway, so she takes care of the younger woman when something happens to her. So it has a nice, sweet ending. But that was my first Actors Award, and I was so excited when I got it.
No, you got this big glow about you right now with your hands going again. What did it mean to you? And was there some kind of acceptance speech?
They made me do, I was not expecting it because it was one of the first films that I had done. Actually, it was my first film that I had done for this organization. And suddenly, and people vote for you. So whoever watches these films vote for you. And none of my friends were in the room in that screening for whatever reason, because normally my friends are my big supporters base and they show up for the screenings. For this one, maybe because it was the first one of its kind, I don't know. None of my friends were there. And people voted for me as the best actor for that short film. So, and then it went through different rounds and it kept being voted on. So, but there are so many actors there, somebody who had been doing it for longer and who are really good. When the time that she says my name, I did hear this right? Did she just say my name? So I stand up and she's looking at me and I'm so excited. So I go and I get it. To the front, I get it, and then I go to sit down, and she says, "Speech, speech, speech." Okay, so I got up. Twist my arm to improvise, right? If you're gonna make me speak, I'm gonna speak. So I basically was very open and honest, and I just talked about what I was feeling at that moment, which was this is like a dream come true. Getting a prize, an award for Best Actress. Thank you so much for providing this opportunity for me. I told her, Elena, the organizer at the time. And thank you everybody else for voting for me. And that was pretty much it. But it was an unforgettable moment. I even remember what I was wearing that day.
Did it give you some extra juice and inspiration moving forward? I mean, you were already going to probably keep acting, but the fact that you had won something and somehow were validated gives you a little extra confidence and enthusiasm for the profession?
Yes. And there's also so BS in every industry. There's BS. There's so much here, and it's so much about who you know that I thought, okay, I was in a place where nobody knew me. My friends were not there, and I still won this award. So clearly, I'm doing something right, something that's worth it, and that people like to see. So yes, absolutely, I got this validation in front of me in the shape of a mini Oscar, almost kind of thing. And I have it here. Well, actually, it's up there, and I have this backdrop, so I will have to go around. But it's right
I want to see it. I'm dying to see it. Go get it.
Hold on, let me see if I can.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, it's here.
And then we'll take a screenshot of it and put it, on the podcast description so people can see it. So it's just you and me.
Awesome. Yeah. So this is it. This little guy.
Okay, say cheese.
Oh, hold on. Cheese.
Love it.
So yes, and I look at it often, and it's just so lovely to have it there. It's looking at me. I have some quotes on my wall too. I have a mirror that my friends gave me, and every time I look at it, it says, "Remember what you are, a motherfucking superstar."
Yeah.
So before I walk out of my room here in my office, I look at it. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Solana, what about the part of the business that we're not supposed to take personally, but the whole rejection component? You go in there, you crush an audition, you nail it, you got the character, you got the lines, you're looking hot, and I didn't get it.
I'm a little bit atypical in that sense. I also love auditioning, and when I was interviewing years ago for jobs, I always loved interviewing. So I know that most people don't enjoy that. I don't take it personally. I don't, because if I blew it, and I have done it, I can tell you a story when I know I blew it. Then okay, it's my responsibility. Next time I know. And if I do the best that I can, then I'm happy about that. I'm pleased about that, because auditioning is one job and acting is another completely different job. When you show up well prepared, you have fun, you hopefully make a good impression and good new connections. That's a successful audition to me. If I feel good about it, I got to act for a few moments and made somebody smile in the room, I'm good. If I don't get it, first, they're lost.
Yeah.
Second, there are so many factors that are into. Okay, if they don't want an accent, and I went with my best accent, okay, that's out of my control at that moment. If I look like the ex-girlfriend of somebody and they don't want to hire me, I have zero control over that. There's so many factors that honestly, I choose not to take it personally. It's not up to me. It's up to them. I'm not bothered by it. Yes, sometimes I'm bummed. Sometimes you know that you killed it, and you're like, okay, I killed it, and then you don't get called back. So, okay, but I understand that there are so many things that may have contributed to this. Maybe I don't match the daughter that they're hiring, or maybe I'm too tall for the father or whoever. Who knows? I don't know.
Does the accent help you?
It doesn't help me. There's a small niche where it's fine, and you're seeing more accents lately, but it's mostly on male characters and mostly different English accents. Australia, English, British, South African. You hear all those, but non-English accents you don't hear so much. If it's for a commercial, forget it. A lot of times they want Hispanic looking or Latin looking, or I'm ethnically ambiguous, but they don't want the accent. I've seen posts so many times, be fluent in Spanish, needs to look Hispanic, check, no accent. Those really make me mad. But no, so one of my coaches too is a voice coach. She's Tony Smith. She's out of LA. She's brilliant. She's a fabulous coach. And actually on Monday, I'm starting to work again. We took a couple of months off. She was busy with our stuff, mostly on me too. So we're resuming our classes on Monday. So I can get to a point where I can switch it on and off, because that will open a lot more possibilities.
Give me a little bit of Cholita. I love that voice.
Okay. What you want me to say?
You can yell at me for not taking out the trash. I'm a bad husband.
I told you to take out the trash, David. Why didn't you do that? What did you do? The trash. The trash truck is coming today. The trash is not outside. Now I have to go check out the trash. It's dirty, the trash. I don't like it.
Lo siento, corazón.
Lo sientes.
I can't get you out of character.
I love this character.
Have you been discouraged ever with the business? Beaten up at all? Or, God, I don't know. I don't know if I like doing it, but I'm not cut out to do it.
With the business, with the acting, no, it hasn't happened. It's everything that I do in my life, I always go through a phase where I feel like quitting, but that only makes me stronger. Working with my accent for a while, I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I have an accent, so be it. You're going to love it or you're going to hate it. And then if you're going to hate it, then we're not meant to do business together anyway. So I went through that phase too, and I was going to just give up my classes. You know what? That's it. This is who I am. Because also working without an accent changes your whole demeanor, right? It's not just about talking like an American, it's like acting like an American too, which is a very different thing from what I am. But now, again, speaking with my marketing coach, I am a lot more marketable if I can also do it without an accent. So I'm back on track with that. But the accent thing was the one place that I felt discouraged at times, and I struggled with that for the first year when I made this switch into becoming a full-time actor. Yeah, I struggled a lot with the accent piece. And then you see these posts again that say, look Hispanic, speak fluent Spanish, no accents. It's like, what?
That
What is
sucks.
a no accent? Yes, what's the no accent? Because everybody has an accent. Do you want a Californian accent? Do you want a Southern accent? What? Everybody has an accent.
I mean, if
No
you're
accent.
going to look Latin, Hispanic, whatever, and speak Spanish, then you'd have an accent, right? I mean, that's just part of it.
You do, and then I see like Penelope Cruz or Salma Hayek, and that's encouraging again. Okay, you can Sofia Vergara. Okay, you can count them. That's three of them, right? But there is some room. You just have to get in there, find that niche, get in there, and once you're in there, you're fine. But until you make it in there, having more options and range is always good.
You have a timetable, Solana, in mind, like, hey, I'd love to move to LA. I mean, it would be awesome to be there. I'd like to do it by the time I'm blank.
No, I don't have that timetable. I do want to be in an episodic show this year. That's I want to do that. Of some sort, HBO, Amazon Prime, Hulu, Netflix, one of those. That's my goal. I want to be an episodic, so I know that I have consistent opportunities to getting in front of the camera and just making this magic happen. In terms of moving to LA, no, because if I can be there whenever I'm needed, I don't, or LA or anywhere, Atlanta, wherever it is, if we're shooting Stranger Things over there, location, I came from Argentina, right? So anything within the US is such a short trip away, right? So I'm not, location, I'm more focused on being in a show than where I'm going to live.
We were talking off this interview, and I won't mention the number because I didn't ask for permission about your age. But you're not a kid. You're not 23 years old. You're not 25 and moving. You can be a bartender, and I just act. You're
Right.
married. You got kids. You've got a life. You've got family bills to pay. Do you consider yourself maybe a role model or an example? Hey, you know what? I'm not giving up on this dream, and it's just because I turned 30 a couple years ago that I'm not going to. Settle and not settle in life, right? It's not done because you hit a whatever birthday with a zero on it.
So here's the thing. It's like, David, I am living the dream. That's how I feel. I am living my dream. I am acting. I spend a lot of time in front of the camera and I'm working on my craft. And I love every second of it. All these classes that I'm taking, I love them all. How does it get better than this? Yes, having a recurring role in a primetime show. It does. I have a happy family. We're doing well. I have always been one to enjoy the little things. Yes, I have some dreams that are more than dreams that are goals. This is where I want to get, and pretty soon, because I would love to just be doing that. But in the meantime, I'm enjoying every second of it. I have an audition and I love it. I just, audition time, as if it was a shoot. Of course, then that's a lot shorter than a shoot. But the excitement, every time I get a script, I get so excited. And then highlighting it and then working on it and trying different things, building a character, developing something that doesn't exist. I'm living my dream.
You've got this glow about you.
It can get better.
Ultimate, you and me in a scene together in class, or even better, on screen.
Let's do it. We have to find someone to write something for us, unless you want to write it, and then shoot it.
I'm in.
We'll find someone to shoot it. I'm not worried about that.
Solana, give everybody your social media information. So if they want to follow you, whether it's Instagram, Twitter, whatever.
Yeah, I'm very easy to be found. You type my name and everything shows up, from my IMDb page to my Facebook page, my Instagram. My website is solanapaz.com. My Instagram is solana.paz.actor. My Facebook is facebook.com/solanapazactor. Twitter is probably Solana Paz actor as well. Solana Paz was taken, so I had to add the actor at the bottom. I hate that, but it is what it is. It works.
That's fantastic. Hey, we're going to leave playing Indy Faulkner's theme song. And
oh my gosh, yes.
Fantastic way to take it out. And we're going to talk again in a couple of years when your kids make you crazy.
Okay. I'm not too crazy to talk.
Well, I mean, we'll talk before then, but I'm going to double check and make sure that things are going so smoothly, because you're almost bragging about how awesome it is when they're 12 and 14.
Anytime, anytime.
Love you, girl.
Thank you so much. Love you too, David. See you soon.
Super cool. And as for the production we spoke about at the beginning of the podcast, the Crumbs, look for it with the likes of Maria Olson, Craig Ahrens, Elena Gerard, David John Foster, Jeff Hatch, Megan Lara, among others. And, of course, Solana Paz. The executive producer of the podcast is Hunter Lewis. You can subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, and YouTube. We appreciate your positive feedback and comments. Certainly helps out a lot. Thank you so much for listening and subscribing, and we'll talk to you next time. Oh, and as promised, here's Indy Faulkner and the theme song to Sommers Vacation.
Her heart's made of gold, while yours is ice cold.